Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Down Under. We are going to talk about why modern day relationships tend not to work and why they are much different than relationships in past generations, I should say. So, Hassan, what do you think is like the number one, not number one, but what do you think a huge issue with modern day relationships are?
And we're talking modern day. We're talking about our generation, right?
Yeah.
Probably social media, probably online. That is the biggest difference between us and generations before. Which is not. It could be a bad thing. It could be a bad thing. It could be a good thing. But that is the biggest difference, and that's what you're seeing. A lot of the trust issues and a lot of the problems, even with friendships.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, if he's not responding, and he's hanging out with other friends, like, why am I not invited?
Yeah.
It's just that and the false perception created by social media that you have the perfect friendship group and you have the perfect circle.
Mm-hmm.
That creates a lot of issues because you're like, well, why don't I have that?
Yeah.
And it just builds up over time and creates the problem.
I would agree. And I think a lot of that social media stuff is like, and I'm not saying that all of these like dating apps are bad. Don't get me wrong, because there's a lot of people that I know have them. But like, I think a lot of it is these dating apps feed into what I call this hookup breakup generation in a way. It's like we're looking for something or we see somebody and then all of a sudden we're gonna hook up with them and then okay, we're done.
Yeah.
And that's the there's like no such thing as like true what's the word, sacrifice or true compromise or true like no one's ever looking
if
for
I
that.
want it, I'm gonna get it and I'm not gonna get anything else. That's
Exactly.
that's the thing these days. And the word love just does not mean the same thing.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, I mean, would you say you've ever been in love?
Probably not, no. I mean, it just depends on what you say.
Everybody has their own definition of
Of love is.
By your own definition.
Okay, then probably, yeah.
love.
No.
No shot. No shot.
And
I
think
love my cat.
I think
I was gonna say.
I think
Bro said he loves his cat.
Okay, come on.
No, not like that. Not
no,
like that.
like,
I was
yeah,
just.
I love my
All right,
cat.
let's hold on.
I love my cat. I love my bros.
Yeah.
Would I say I was ever in love?
I never had a relationship long enough to fall in love.
I was.
But I
was.
do. I mean, I kind of did, but I also have a very. I mean, I was in the wrong because during my relationship there were empty words being spoken.
Oh, 100%.
If that makes sense.
100%.
I said things to make the relationship run smoothly, but they had no meaning behind them or the right meaning behind them. So I might have told somebody I loved them in a relationship. It's not the truth. Is it what they want to hear? Yes.
Yeah.
Is it going to make the relationship run more smooth? Yes.
100%.
Which I think that's also
I think
a big
we're just
part
too
because
young. We're too
people,
young.
I mean, we were. I mean, I feel like now it's getting to the point just because I think once we get out of college, that's where it gets for real. We're in the middle stage. I guess once you guys get out of college, it gets real because it gets to the real world.
Well, I mean, believe it or not, we're adults.
Yeah, I know you're.
Believe it or not.
But it's still high school. We're in the middle. It's high school first, and then it goes into the college, where you get more mature, but you're still not to the level where you should really. I mean, you don't need to find a relationship, and then once you get out of college, that's when you kind of go into the real world and settle down and stuff.
So my definition of love is just a lot of appreciativeness.
Yeah.
And appreciation, I guess.
Yeah.
And care for the other person.
I would agree.
So we'll go around. You said, would you ever say you were?
No, not truly.
Yeah,
You?
by my definition, yes.
What would you say?
By my definition, yes.
Hey, that's okay, man. He was with
For sure.
He was
You
with
said
said
you were
person
too,
for
correct?
a long time.
I said I was.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean. I mean, I love my cat.
All right, so Sam, what? I love my kitten as well. Sticks, if you're watching.
I love one
I
of
love
my
you.
cats. My other cat can go,
Bella.
Bila.
Tracy's a nice cat too, though.
The thing is, people need to prioritize themselves in this world. This is the world where individualism is a thing.
Oh, 100%.
And you cannot rely.
But I think a lot of that, I think the individualism has a lot to do with why this, and it's going to sound cheesy as shit, but you know how, like, they always talk about those love stories or, like, whatever. Like, there's no such thing as these true love stories anymore in the modern day world, because we're so focused on either A, materialistic shit, B, like, too much focus on ourselves to where we are not willing to...
Appearance, how you look.
We're not willing to compromise for anybody or anything. And I think a lot of it has to do with us as a society are so scared to let other people into their bubble and are scared and afraid to get hurt that we don't branch out to other people. And then, like, the people that do branch out end up getting hurt, and therefore then they start, retracting or closing themselves in again. So I think that has a lot to do with it, but I'm going to go back to what Carter said. Carter, you were talking about how, like, you were just kind of throwing words out there and stuff like that.
Empty promise. Or it's not
I would agree with that, though.
That's just a middle school, high school relationship, right?
Not necessarily, because it happens a lot.
It
happens a lot in just marriages and stuff, too. And people that here's the thing this is the sad thing, especially, at least in the United States, I think there are more people that are more people that are now divorced than people that are married in this country.
Yeah.
If that tells you anything,
I think our generation will be better.
See, we say that. But if you also look around and see, and I'm not going to name names.
No.
But we look around and see who we have around us.
Sam?
No, I'm not talking about you guys either. We'll just think about people in college, for God's sake.
No, here's what I'm thinking. Our generation's parents, probably 70-30, 7 out of 10 families are probably divorced. Can we say that? Average number, is that fine?
No, I would say, yeah, I know a lot of...
What would you say, Carter? Would you agree with that?
I'd probably go 50-50.
No, I think it's more than 50% of families. It's a very high number.
I would say 50-50 because
if
at least the people
we'll go
that
60-40.
I've met,
Can we agree 60-40?
People that I've met, I guess. I don't know.
Can we go 60-40
That's
before
fine.
That's
yeah.
fine.
Okay. That just means that 60% of families of kids who grew up like that, their goal is not to have... That's their goal. Whether that's reality or not, but their goal going to anything is to not recreate that.
I get that. I would agree. 100%. And I think a lot of that has to do... I mean... I think with parents, that's the issue, because everyone comes from different backgrounds and everyone comes from different moral values and everyone comes from, and if you're not willing to open up, which a lot of us in our generation, I believe, I mean, at least my friend group, I feel like a lot of you guys are willing to open up in some way, and branch out. But if you're not willing to open up, or if you see somebody and aren't willing to compromise, or if you're in a relationship, like if you're not willing to do any of that stuff, then there's no reason.
Yeah.
Unless you're prepared, there is no reason to ever get into any of that.
Yeah, just worry about yourself and yourself only, and the time is right. The time is right.
Yeah.
That's what I believe, at least. I want to set up my career. I want to be a millionaire one day. I can't do that if I'm worried about other life things at the moment.
Yeah,
And
I can relate to that perfectly because of my situation and what I'm in. If I'm sitting here trying to play baseball at a high level, trying to make it to the big leagues, and I am in, which would end up being a long distance relationship, how would that help me?
It's just
it'll hurt me more than it'll
distract you more.
It'll distract me, and then it'll be times where it distracts me in the good way, where it distracts me from if I have a bad game, but it'll also be distracting if there's problems going on and I have to worry about that instead of worrying about playing.
100%.
I have better things to be focusing on right now.
Exactly. Individualism is a real thing in our generation.
And there's two ways to go with individualism. It can go from I don't care about anybody else. I only care about myself. I am going to do everything that's best for myself. And then there's individualism where it's you still care for other people. You still have people by your side. But sometimes you just choose yourself over someone or something or somebody else.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with you.
I
It's
would
just
agree.
know your priorities, first of all. You're going into anything, friendships or anything. Know your priorities and know who you are. You don't need to change for anybody.
Because if you don't,
And if somebody's making you feel like you have to change something about yourself,
then get the hell out. Leave.
Yeah.
see you later.
You don't need to be.
But if you don't know your priorities and all that, you are that it's almost selfish because you are willing to risk hurting other people just for your happiness. So you also have to think of it that way as well.
Yeah.
And so let's move on. How do we think we can fix some of the issues in modern day relationships?
It
Yeah.
takes two.
It
It
takes
takes two.
two.
And I would
it's
say-
a two-way street.
My thing is, and Hassan, you pointed this out earlier with social media, everybody needs to understand that people are not perfect. People make mistakes, and you have to be okay with the flaws that come.
I'm pretty perfect.
Okay, you can think
I have
that.
anger issues, but I'm pretty perfect.
Is your phone
How's your
okay?
phone doing?
No, my phone's pretty cracked.
Is it actually?
My screen's all, my corners are messed up.
How about when you smack me with the pillow? Is my leg okay?
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Are we okay?
It's okay.
You
man.
made me very mad.
All right.
It's okay.
You can
I
have
don't
this.
know how, but
Um,
it's okay.
but people.
Are we best friends again?
Yeah. Besties for the resties.
People aren't perfect, and you guys can learn how to compromise like these two just did, and find a solution like these two just did.
I'm such a
Be okay with the flaws and accept them, because a lot of people, like Hassan said earlier, on social media, they will put out this perfect perception of them, and then you go into a relationship or you meet them and you're like, oh my god, this person is not what I thought or expected them to be.
done got
Because
catfished.
That's, you know what, I like how you said that, because the other day I was watching I was listening to a podcast, a cancel culture,
Mhm.
and it's not something I want to dive into,
Yeah.
or canceling cancel culture. But the thing is, what is cancel culture? You're not allowed to have an opinion anymore. Because
No.
if you don't like your opinion, I'm gonna debrand you and everything,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Sam, you're higher up in a company. You say something 10 years ago when you were 12 on Twitter, right?
Mhm.
Somebody's gonna go find that. They're gonna plaster it everywhere, and because that was your opinion, you're done,
Yeah.
right? That's the thing. That's the truth.
Yeah.
And there are good parts of cancel culture when people like Andrew Tate or don't have a platform,
Yeah.
and he's the right to free speech goes to citizens, but more and more so it goes to the United States of America.
Yeah.
So it's not something I want to dive into, but you can't be afraid to have an opinion, but you have to have it respectable, and you have to approach it in a right way.
I would agree.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I'm gonna bring up the number one problem in almost every single relationship, no matter who it is, or unless it's a select few that's just very lucky not to have this problem. Trust issues.
100%.
It's the biggest problem, the biggest breakup reasoning, or reasoning for breaking up or getting in fights, and I will stand by that, because I cannot tell you how many times I have heard from different people, girl or boy, about, oh, I hear he's talking to her, or I hear she's talking to him, blah blah blah.
It's become such a norm.
I don't trust. Like
Annoying. Oh, fruit ass.
that, until that gets fixed, that's one huge step, and that's one of the many factors going into a relationship, or many problems, or what's wrong with relationships.
I agree.
Because trust issues, or trusting somebody, that's, you say you have somebody who, for my instance, let's say I date somebody who's in college. I'm not in college. I play baseball professionally. She goes to college. I could have my trust issues about, oh, she's going out. I don't know what she's doing. She doesn't respond for
All
hours on end when she goes
hypothetically.
out. Yeah, all hypothetically. And then she could have hers where she's like, oh, he's in a different city. I don't know what he's doing. I don't see him in person. I don't know who's coming to his games to watch him, blah, blah, blah. All these different things come to it, and it's all different types of trust issues, and then that's one little sliver of what trust, of like a trust problem. There's so many different things that can happen.
I will add on to this. I think a lot of these trust issues that you're talking about, though, come from their parents' relationships and their parents' divorces or their parents just whatever. Because as you're growing up and you see, you know, whether it be mom or dad cheat on each other, or you see certain things that go on, your trust begins to lower for other people. And you're like, okay, well, this is how the world's going to be. This is how every single person is. Well, then, and it kind of goes back to what I said earlier, then I'm not going to open up. I'm not going to compromise for others. Why should I do that if I'm just going to get hurt?
Exactly.
I mean,
But, and I'm going to say this too, I'm not saying that everyone's going to get hurt when it comes down to love, but at the same time, you also have to go into love understanding that there is a possibility to get hurt. There is a risk with that. And if you can't fathom that, or if you can't wrap that around your brain, then you probably should not go for a relationship or go for love or whatever you think love should be.
I think.
don't get too attached too fast.
Yeah.
That'll kill you.
I don't know why he looked at me while he said that.
I'm just talking to
No,
We're all talking
just
to
so
you.
like
Looking.
just I believe living in the moment,
Yeah.
having a private life, but not a secret life.
Yeah.
I mean that goes with everything. Nobody needs to know what's going on in your circles, unless you want them to know.
Yeah.
Also, cheaper wedding that way. Less people. Just keep your expectations of people. It's just like treat people how you want to be treated.
Yeah.
Exactly how.
And
it
if you are not treated the way you want to be treated, then get out.
Get out, as Carter said.
Get out.
Get out of there.
And I would leave this.
Let's. Here's a video of Carter running from home to second. That's how fast you need to get out of there. That's right here in 3, 2, 1.
Damn,
Boom,
that's
already
fast.
done. I mean,
He's already done.
My bad.
No, there goes his helmet.
Yep. I do have a video of me hitting a triple, and while I'm right before I get to second, my helmet's flying up, hair's going.
That's the video. I'm
That's the
talking.
video we're doing now.
Step on third base.
Here it is. Wow.
Paparazzi.
Oh, he got out of third. Look at that.
No.
So-
Little does he know I'm faster than him.
Run that by me again. One last.
You know
I
that,
think we
right?
should leave it on one last note. So I guess we can kind of go around the table and just say whatever we want to say. But for the one last thing that I'm going to say is, make sure, like Hassan said, treat people the way you want to be treated, but set away the unrealistic expectations that you may have, because if you have these unrealistic expectations, then you are most likely never going to find love, or you will never be happy in your relationship if you have unrealistic expectations. Because I'm sorry, but no man or woman is ever going to meet these crazy expectations that so-and-so put out on social media, and now all of a sudden we're following a trend. These type of things. So make sure to compromise. Sometimes learn how to drop the materialistic things and focus on your person, and be willing to sacrifice. That's how I'm going to leave it. Hassan, Carter?
Go ahead, Buster Brown.
I agree with you. Just live in the moment. Prioritize yourself before anything. And when you're ready, you will know. And only you will know.
I'm just also going to say, we are no experts. of love.
We're not experts.
We're not experts of relationships with love. We're just kind of sitting here having
We're
conversation.
expressing our thoughts
And
and our opinions.
for any viewer that's going through something, like maybe we can
And facts.
possibly help you out. I don't know. So
Hey. Any dudes want to hit up Carter's line? He's right here.
Wow. That's off limits, dog.
Hey,
Dog, no.
hey. Just DM me, pay me. I'll get you some feet pics. I got you. That's a good way to end it. You want to say bye to the people first?
Then we're going to cut it there, and then I'm going to act like I came back. That'd be fine.
We're doing what?
cut it.
I am now back after Hassan's outrageous comment.
Time out, boy.
Getting
Run
ideas.
that about me again.
Don't get any ideas. All right. Last thing I'm going to leave on the table from Carter Jensen is dating expertise, which is not expertise at all.
And all hypothetical.
All
in any
hypothetical.
situations.
All I'm going to say is when it comes to trust, if you feel like you are ready to get into a serious relationship, you need to have a conversation with yourself about, can I trust this person? Do I trust them enough already to take it to that next level? If the answer is no, maybe I should hold off on getting into a relationship. No matter if that's a week after meeting the person, 2 weeks, a month, 2 months, 3 months, no matter how long it is, don't ever try to rush that process, because when, like any good thing, you try to rush it, it's not going to be...
Slow and steady wins the race.
It's not going to be
Optimus
how
Prime.
you want it to be. And, like I said earlier, what did he say?
He said slow and steady wins the race. Optimus Prime.
Optimus Prime?
Yeah, he said that.
Oh, okay, go on. Let's not get
I'm going to
sidetracked.
say, don't let anybody change who you are as a person, how
I
you
like
go
that.
about things, your
Mhm.
personality, your likes, your interests, your hobbies. If you like to fish and a girl doesn't want you to fish, tell her to kick rocks.
Yeah.
Don't let somebody change you for their own liking.
Sam took me fishing for the first time ever.
Exactly.
Whoa!
Exactly. So now he introduced you to something new, and now you guys can continue with your beloved relationship.
I probably.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
That's a good time to end it off.
We're gonna end it off.
Thank you guys for watching.
Same.
Sticks, gents. Follow me on Twitch. New Warzone's out now.